Welcome, welcome to the Sunday live stream. How are y'all feeling today? Make a quick adjustment here so you can actually hear me. There we go. Beautiful. Welcome. How you doing? I hope you are having a beautiful day so far and that this makes it a little better. The first thing that Spirit said when I tuned in this morning was smooth is fast. So apparently, as we are wont to do, some of us are trying to move extremely quickly when it's not strictly necessary. So Spirit was talking about iterate, try something, then see how it went, collect the data, right? And then you move on and you try it a different way. So try something, take the data from that, and then make adjustments as necessary. We're in the season of harvest. It's autumn. It's time to be noticing what's working, what's not, and make adjustments. Libra season, right? What might be out of balance? And Spirit is also talking about what brings me into balance. So, are you aware of practices that actually, Spirit is talking about your toolkit. Are you aware of your toolkit? Do you know what brings you into resonance? Hey, El Kabong, welcome. Glad to have you here. Do you know what brings you clarity, peace of mind, things that are generally required to make good decisions about what's working and what's not? Okay. You've also, Spirit is saying, in harvest season, we recognize that everything is slowing down. It's the season before winter, right? It's a mutable season where things change and then we'll move into the stillness. So make your adjustments. Look into your toolkit. What brings you a sense of peace? Morning, morning, Maria. Happy to see you. And smooth is fast. So please don't. I just get this sense of don't push yourself. It's not even necessary. It's not helpful. It's not beneficial. And it's not necessary. So slow is steady and smooth is fast. Okay. So we're going to get into the daily forecast. Before we do that, reminder, the next Cosmic Spotlight, the haunted houses in your chart, is coming up Saturday, October 25th. Link is in the description if you want to join. It's a live reading lottery. So you submit your chart and your question, and I will read live the chart selected for the hour. It's going to be so much fun. Halloween, kind of Day of the Dead themed. I'm excited about it. Pluto, Saturn, South Node. My Scorpio stellium is like so jazzed. All right, let's get into the daily forecast. Starting with today. Hey there, welcome angel guides. Glad to have you. Starting with today. Spirit, we would love to get your high and loving perspective, your zoomed out perspective of the lay of the land for the collective this week. What energies does it benefit all of us to know about? What do we need to know this week for our highest good? Always for our peace, ease, alignment, fulfillment, and abundance. What is the guidance for each day this week? In the name of helping us all step into a life that feels right, a life that feels like flow, a life where it feels like smooth is fast. And oh, look at that. I don't have to push. I just have to be in alignment and then things kind of. I'm not talking about being passive, okay? But I'm going to say that when you're in alignment, things coalesce around you. What do I mean? If you're out of alignment, if you're saying yes when you mean no, or you're saying no when you mean yes, you're not going to find yourself in the places that are actually aligned with your desires, okay? So this isn't some frou-frou, airy-fairy, I believe in energetics, but I'm not even talking about energetics. We could make this really mundane. Don't say yes when you mean no. Don't say no when you mean yes. And you will find that your life changes in accordance with your actual desires and values. Okay? Sometimes it gets more difficult when we have to say no when we mean no. But it allows for things to fall away and to fall into place. Is something that Spirit is saying. I haven't even seen the cards yet. That's just what they're saying. Well, say no when you mean no. First card up. Here are our two cards for today. Hey, Hillary, welcome. Seven of Wands. Oh no, not mid 1 a.m. crash out. Well, welcome. You're in the right place. Let's ground. Today's cards. Seven of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. What I hear is defending fiercely what is yours, what you care about, what you believe in. You see the fox here protecting her kits from the badger. There's never a fiercer fight than when we feel like this is my baby. This is my baby and I'm going to protect it. So stand up for what you believe in. And I feel that you are rooted well enough to do it. I'm hearing a couple of things. So, King of Pentacles. For some of you, this is you are the King of Pentacles. You are this extremely well rooted, skilled, the King of the Pentacles is at the very top of their game. They have worked hard to be where they are. They have worked with diligence, persistence, sweat on the brow, right? We're talking about hands in the clay. We're talking about from zero to nothing, from zero to nothing. It's a big leap. From zero to empire level, right? I have a whole kingdom at my disposal, not because somebody gave it to me, but because I earned it through my hard work. I cultivated the orchard, right? That now provides for me. So some of you are at the top of your game in a certain skill set, and you really need to believe in yourself and like step up and into the ring as such. Okay. For some of you, this is the thing about general readings. For some of you, this is how I hear it. This person is like maybe a boss, maybe a partner, maybe somebody that you work with or somebody that you are in close relationship with. And the King of Pentacles can be a bit conventional, can be a bit traditional, can be a bit like old fashioned, right? And I feel that there's a little bit of, I know what I'm doing and I will defend it passionately, even if you don't quite understand what I'm doing. So you may need to stand up to kind of like the old guard and make it clear that you're going to do things your way. So let's see how the rest of this week pans out. Monday vibes. Okay. You might feel a little nervous, but play it cool. Hey, good morning, Erica. Welcome, welcome. Monday, we have the Eight of Swords, a bit of analysis paralysis, a bit of what if. I'm hearing what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, lining up all of the fears and worries and could go wrongs right in front of you. And I want to point out to you this little hummingbird that is coming and trying to tell the swan, like, hey, let me help get you out of here. Okay, so let this reading be your little hummingbird telling you not to get trapped in your thoughts. What is right alongside that? The High Priestess. Calm yourself. Trust your intuition. Your mind is not where you are doing your best work on Monday, okay? And we live in a society that encourages us to do everything going by the mind. This is what makes sense. This is what the data says, etc. Sometimes what makes sense and what the data says isn't actually the thing. You know what I mean? So, High Priestess, can you trust yourself more than necessarily your thoughts, and particularly your thought patterns? Spirit's reminding me of something, and it's like, what is the statistic? Something like we think 99% of the same thoughts every single day. So it's like we're running our little mouse wheel most of the time. It is rare for us to step off of it and have a genuine new thought or new feeling, right? And that's just statistics. That's just data. For those of you who love the data, go look into that. This is stepping off of the hamster wheel. This is sinking deeper than the intellect and into the intuition. What am I feeling drawn toward? What do I feel repelled from? Right? And actually believing in that and trusting that more than necessarily even what your eyes see, right? Or what you are interpreting from the data, right? Go beneath the data, go deeper than the data is what I'm hearing when I see these two cards next to each other. You might feel these are all the reasons why I can't do it. Sink deeper than that and you'll see a new solution. That is something that I'm hearing. They're really highlighting for me the pomegranate in the High Priestess's hand. The pomegranate is the fruit of the underworld, right? When you go way underground, when you go into the root system, you could bear some new fruit, is something that I'm hearing, okay? Talk about haunted houses. Talk about facing fears and facing them from a calm, steady place. Come back to what Spirit said at the beginning of the reading about, do you know your toolkit? Do you know your toolkit for like, my anxiety is way up here? Or do you just, and no shame, no blame, no judgment, do you just dissociate? Like, okay, I'll just watch TV, I'll just play this game, I'll just do whatever. I would encourage you not to dissociate, but to, do what Pema Chodron says and sit in the hot discomfort and be like, okay, this is a message for me. This is coming up again. What's really here? I'm not just going to let this fucking tape play in the background, 99% of the same thoughts every day. What do I really need to see here? What am I missing? The high priestess is great at figuring out what other people are missing, right? Because she's not running around and looking for it. She's not the Charlie Day meme of like the map and the yarn and the push pins and like the wild eyes. She's sitting back and taking it in, and she's connecting dots slowly over time. So relax and take it in on Monday. Something might threaten to like kind of kick off a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of a crash out. High Priestess says breathe and look for your toolkit. A walk in nature, maybe a journaling session, maybe a hot bath, whatever. What kind of brings you down, regulates your nervous system, and gives you more access to your better faculties, right? When we're freaked out, when we're scared, we lose access to these higher brain faculties that we developed later in our evolution, right? We go right back to like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die if I make the wrong decision. I'm going to die if like this doesn't happen for me, whatever. And then we lose access to all this wonderful, creative, amazing ability, right? And we start making decisions from a low kind of lizard brain place. And that's never going to be an aligned place because that's a fight or flight place. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Tuesday, we continue with a little bit of this theme of conflict. Five of Wands. It's less than the seven, right? So we've gone down a little bit in the fierceness of the fight. Five of Wands is actually kind of distraction. So ask yourself where you're spending your energy, and if you like where you're spending your energy, again, if it's working out, like coming back to what Spirit said at the beginning about this is the time for harvest, looking at where you're putting your energy, and particularly like your fire and your fight. Like, is where you are putting your fire and your spark and your fight giving back to you, or is it blowing out your candles? Because that's something that I'm hearing is like some of you might be throwing your wands in all kinds of different directions, and then I have no fire and no juice left for myself. You know what I'm saying? So just check on that. Maybe you want to work on a couple fewer things, or maybe you want to dial down a certain distraction, or maybe just like put some parameters around it. Like, I only check my social media at blank o'clock, and blank o'clock for blank minutes, whatever. Your mileage will vary. I don't fucking want to check the shit ever. So you might love to check that shit, and you might need better parameters than that. So right alongside that, Three of Cups, great card. So distraction can be fun. Nothing wrong with that. So if you're distracting yourself by hanging out with your friends, at least I feel that's a healthier distraction than like doom scrolling. You know what I'm saying? So Three of Cups and Five of Wands. If I put these in a Venn diagram, it's like playing with ideas, playing with my friends, coming together and knocking things around. Spirit's funny, but they're actually showing me like a literal softball game. They're showing me that that's one of the ways that this plays out. It's like there's a healthy way to play games too. So some people might literally just get together with like their adult soccer league or whatever on Wednesday. It's good energy. I like it. Wait, I said Wednesday and it's Tuesday. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was up late last night. Forgive me. I'll caffeinate. Mm-hmm. So do play with ideas and make sure that you are actually getting what you want to out of it and not just kind of like, well, that was a waste of 5 hours. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Make sure that you're on target, that you know what you're playing for, like that you know what you're playing with and what you're playing for. Beautiful energy actually on Wednesday. So cups, 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 Six of Cups. Love this rendition of the card of this little girl having her tea party with all of her stuffed animals in the woods. It's very much that vibe. And notice how, yes, she set up this little, fake tea party with her fake little magical friends, right? These stuffed animals. But because she has that belief and went through the ritual of setting up the table, the fairies have genuinely arrived. Do you see them here in the background? We make the magic. How much we believe, how much we participate, how much we're willing to, there's a degree of innocence and humility when it comes to like doing magic or talking to spirit, because 99% of the people in the world will tell you you're full of shit and you're making it up and you're playing games and that's make believe and etc., right? So everybody, in my opinion, is born intuitive and psychic and sensitive in different ways, right? Some people are really sensitive to money vibes or intellect or whatever, right? You might be witchy in that way. I feel that for most people, the hardest part is dropping down the wall of rationality. and being like, well, I'm really feeling this, so I'm just going to go with it or say it and see what happens. And then you start a positive feedback cycle when you follow through with the magical thinking. See what happens. Set up the table for the magic to happen and just see if the fairies show up, is something that I'm hearing, right? Be innocent. Be playful with it. It's supposed to be fun. It's not always supposed to be serious. Be serious if you want to be. Be serious if you got heavy Capricorn placements or whatever and you want ceremonial magic with velvet robes in the dead of night and the candles. But if you want to have some fun, you could also just have a tea party and invite your spirit guides to show up and pour them each a cup of tea and put a little cookie next to it the same way you have your little tea and your little cookie, and you share what you're thinking about and what's on your mind and what you wish for. And you share with your spirit guides, and the voices pop up in the back of your head telling you you're being silly, this is all make believe, everybody would be laughing at you if they saw you doing this. But I tell you what, you go ahead and sit through a little bit of the discomfort of that, have some fun with it, be a Page of Cups, open your heart, be available for magic, and see what does and doesn't change. When you have that little tea party, and I'm being literal, I'm being so literal. You do not have to know a bunch of stuff about magic. You do not have to know a bunch of stuff about talking to spirit. If you will set up the container, whatever feels right to you and aligned with you to speak to spirit, do it. Try it with an open heart. They will speak back. I'm not talking about you're necessarily going to hear a voice or see somebody. I'm saying you say, I just feel like nobody ever sees me, and I'm worried that no one's ever going to recognize that I'm doing this thing or whatever. And the next day, somebody sends you a random DM that says, I just want to say I've been following your stuff and I really enjoy what you do and this, that, and the other thing. Because you have spoken to spirit and the spirit has moved someone to share something with you that you need, right? A kind word, a kind message, which is also the vibe of the Page of Cups. So I feel some of us get that kind of message and it comes from being that kind of open, okay? So play. Play with spirit. We're here to have fun. Fun is like an essential ingredient. Okay. Thursday. Where do you want to go? Two of Wands. I'm looking at a crossroad. The Hermit. It's interesting. Look at how they are looking away from each other. Looking at a crossroad. Which way do I want to go? And the Hermit has to trust their vision. So I almost feel like two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. Look up the Robert Frost poem. It's really good. And it's all about there's a path that is extremely well trodden. Perhaps you have even trod that path. Like, yes, this is what I do. I'm an expert at this, or I've built this, or I have years of experience doing this. But there's something else that is calling to you. There is something that seems interesting, exciting, something that lights you up. And I'll tell you this, sometimes trying to think, let's come back to this idea of like, that doesn't make sense. The data doesn't point to doing that thing that I'm passionate about is going to make me a bunch of money or whatever. Well, if a bunch of money is the only point, then like, I guess work in a factory, I don't know, like that may not be the thing that gets you a bunch of money. Not all of your dreams come true based on this one thing, but this dream is worth making come true for yourself in some small way. Like maybe you just open an Etsy shop, right? And you're like, I want to create my art and share it. I don't know if it's going to make me $1 million, but I want to do it. If you feel passionate about it, then that is its own reason and that is its own reward, right? And maybe money comes as you give yourself your own reward. But if it doesn't, are you doing what you're passionate and excited about? Because life is short. Life is very short. You've got to do what feels good. And if you're like doing something and grinding and hammering away at it, thinking like, well, I'll be happy in 6 months when this happens, or in a year, and I'll sleep when I'm dead, and etc. That's not the move. That's not the move. Okay? Taking care of yourself, enjoying the journey, having fun in the process to the degree that is possible is an essential part, an essential ingredient. Okay? So when you're making this decision about what you want to do for yourself and which path you want to take, don't look out, look in. The Hermit. What's true for me? What's aligned for me? Where do I feel called to? Maybe somebody else thinks I should do this, or maybe even to me, this path looks rational, but I can't ignore that I keep looking over here. I keep looking over here. That's how they're saying it to me. It's like, yes, I'm doing this, but I keep looking over here. But I'm doing this, but I'm doing that, but I keep looking over here. You're looking over there for a reason. Your soul is calling you to look at that for a reason. When I say the end all be all may not be money, listen, it may be, okay? Maybe it is money. But if you're making that the thing that you hang the moon on, you might miss the actual points along the journey that are calling to you, okay? So be very present. Focus on your alignment, very much on your alignment this week. The high priestess, the hermit, right? Trusting ourselves even above what the outside world is showing us or telling us is that's the vibe, okay? You have your own relationship with your intuition. You have your own relationship with God or with spirit or with the universe or whatever, right? Are you in conversation with it? This week the flow seems to be in conversation with spirit. Be in conversation with your own inner thoughts, your own inner world, your own intuition, right? You might even want to have a bit of a dialogue with the quiet part of yourself and call the quiet part of yourself forward and say, is there anything that I've been avoiding saying to myself? Like, is there anything I'm afraid if I say it out loud to myself that it'll be true or whatever? Acknowledge whatever is deep, deep, deep down in there and use it to help you refine your path and your journey. Well, actually, I'm really bored of this. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to see it, but I'm really bored of this. You got to believe that and you got to move by it. Or else you don't have to, but the lesson that it's not for you will then be externalized, right? So the job lays you off or whatever because like I didn't recognize this isn't for me and bow out of my own accord, and now we have something where it happens on the universe's terms because we weren't getting the message, right? Do you feel me? Because we would be continuing on a path that wasn't for us if life continued to allow this thing that wasn't in alignment with us to happen. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'll continue to caffeinate. Okay. So Friday, gorgeous energy, particularly for those of you who are bosses or who work for yourself or who are starting something entrepreneurial in spirit, or like maybe you even just you have a 9 to 5 job but you also have a project or something that you really care about and you're invested in. We have the Emperor. Hola, hola, Fernando. Welcome. Happy to see you. The Emperor is the boss. The Emperor makes the rules. The Emperor creates the container, right? The steps, the rules, the format, etc. The empire, the empire. They design it. They determine it. Where are the walls? What are the laws? 7 of Pentacles. Take a step back and look at your harvest. What's working? Is there fruit? Is there fruit being born? Or do I need to cut this away, pull it out by the roots, and make room for something new, to plant something new, right? The Emperor is a very, we would say, quote unquote, classically masculine energy. I would say yang. I would say solar, right? I would say outwardly directed, like the kings, right? Whereas the queens and the empress are more inward, right? So as you are having this conversation with yourself throughout the week, what do I care about? Where am I going? What's really true and aligned for me? Then you can start setting some rules into place. Well, if this is true for me, then I need to wake up at this time, or I need to do this practice this many times a week for this long, or whatever. You need to set some rules and some boundaries into place to build the thing that you want. These unsexy, unglamorous steps that lead to the big, sexy, glamorous goal, okay? So putting the work in, reflecting on what's been working, and then getting rid of, pruning anything that's not to make room for what will, okay? The Emperor also says, believe in your own authority, especially when it comes to, do I listen to somebody else or do I listen to myself? You listen to yourself. You listen to yourself. 7 of Pentacles also says to me that some of you need to make a decision career-wise. And that Emperor is like, can I get to where I'm trying to go on this path? Or is that the correction that I need to make? Is the heights that I'm trying to reach, or the power that I'm trying to have, or the authority is not going to happen on this path, so I need to make an adjustment. Your mileage will vary. Follow your own intuition, right? This is a general reading. But I'm hearing the word command, right? And part of what Spirit is saying is we have unprecedented, right? In the time that we are living in, we have unprecedented access to being able to make something of our own. Never before, have our ancestors been able to imagine having access to speaking to people all over the world in an instant and simultaneously, to share our art or to share our words or whatever, or to access information. We live in a very rich time and we can forget because we also live in a very difficult and hard time. Spirit is like, enrich yourself with that Empire and the Seven of Pentacles. Enrich yourself. There is a lot available. So if you need more information about how to build those unsexy steps up to the big, sexy, glamorous goal, look for that because it is available. Look for other people who are an authority on the topic. They are also available to you. Wow. Well, that's pretty unmitigated. Saturday. I want to pull one more. And then we're going to get into Saturday. Spirit, give me just a little bit. What's on the other side? Beautiful. Okay. So, very straightforward reading here. Saturday, 10 of Swords and Death. I love this rendering of Death, though, because we see the Phoenix. The Phoenix in all of its fiery glory, transforming, accepting the ending as the transformation that it is, okay? Yes, I have changed. I've been through it. The Ten of Swords is a card that, like, nobody wants to see, and yet it is, forgive my unfailing optimism, it is, in a sense, a positive card because it's the worst is over. The worst has already happened. The worst is over. 10 swords, too many thoughts, too many fears, too many fights, too many harsh words. There's no coming back from it, right? That's the vibe of the 10 of Swords. I can't ever unhear that bell you rang. I can't ever unhear those words you just said to me, or that way that I just thought of myself. And I'm done. I'm truly done. Death. Close the door. Accept the transformation for what it is. Spirit is saying that if we look around in winter, we might think, without any other information, oh my God, everything's dead. Everything's dead. Again, let's think back to our ancestors and how the earliest peoples must have felt witnessing for the first time and trying to put together, oh my God, everything is dying. All the leaves are falling off the trees. The fruit is gone. What are we going to do? It must have been terrifying, right? And it must in some way believe like, this is it. It's the apocalypse. It's all over. It's never going to get better. And then inevitably spring comes. And inevitably there is a thaw and the buds and the fruits begin to come back, right? So please believe that for yourself, even if something comes to a difficult ending, that there is still life in you, that you have transformed, okay? And when we use what we've been through in the most effective and empowering way that we can, what we can get out of that is victory. Ultimately, victory. A strong sense of self is what Spirit is showing me. This is the Six of Wands. This is literally the card for hail the conquering hero and heroine. They're throwing you a parade. Everybody sees you and is applauding you. And Spirit says a rock solid sense of self. You can't destroy me, right? I only transform. I only transform. Impossible to destroy me. What is the Obi-Wan quote? If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. That's the vibe. That's the vibe with the Ten of Swords and the Death card. Okay? So, if somebody wants to strike you down, just know that emerging from the ashes, you'll know yourself better, your worth better, and you might have, Spirit is real funny, they're like, and you might be extra powered by the urge to rub their nose in it. Ooh, go ahead and watch me. Oh, you don't think I can do it, bitch? Oh, you think you're the end-all be-all, bitch? Fucking watch this. And it could ultimately actually be like, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I am so glad that motherfucker dumped me because, damn, I never would have figured out that. Fill in the blank. Okay? So, if you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Keep that in your pocket. Keep that in your heart. Okay? Okay. Now, Let's get into the elemental forecast. Let's get some cards on the table. Whoop! And then I immediately throw a card off the table. How about that? All right. Mm-hmm. And where shall we start? We shall start with water, because that's what Spirit said as soon as I asked. We shall start with water. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people want to know, what is the major overall theme for the week? What do you want to bring to the awareness of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people for their highest good? Always and only for their highest good. Spirit, the good, the bad, the ugly, all in the name of their peace, joy, alignment, fun, love. Let's look at money. Let's look at jobs, opportunities, finances, projects. What do you want to share with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people when it comes to money? Okay. The season is changing. It's time to harvest. It's time to make adjustments. It's time to clear certain things out of the garden so you can plant some new ones. That's something that I'm hearing. We're going to talk about it. Okay, let's look at their headspace. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces people. Sun, moon, rising, and water dominant people. Okay. What about their own element, Spirit? The realm of emotions, feelings, relationships. What do Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces need to know this week for their highest good? And what about their fire? What is lighting them up? Possibly steaming them up? Spirit, what do you want to share with the water signs about their fire? Okay, you've got a couple of repeats from our weekly forecast. So, your overall theme for this week, Wheel of Fortune. The season is changing, things are moving. This is a good thing, and nobody likes change but a wet baby. You hear me say it when we get the Tower. I think of the Wheel of Fortune as almost like the equal and opposite of the Tower. It's like, what's happening? But this is great. But what's happening? Like, up and down, up and down, up and down. 1 minute, really excited. The next minute, your stomach drops. Spirit is saying for some of you, and this is not for everybody, but for some of you, falling in love, because they're equating that feeling of like really happy and then really scared or really nervous or really freaking out, butterflies in the stomach, right? So for some water sign people, maybe there's like, oh, you meet your crush and y'all have a really good conversation or whatever. I don't always hear stuff like that, but that's something that I'm hearing for this. So that's certainly for some of y'all. Make a move with the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Cups. If you want to, then you should not hesitate to make the first move. Actually, you're really shining. So this would be also a fantastic week to make a move to, Spirit is using the phrase to stake a claim. Like, and I don't mean on a person, that's fucking weird. I mean like on a project or a goal or a dream or a characteristic of your own self. Like I claim that I'm a confident person, or I claim I'm courageous and I'm going to behave that way, or I'm a writer or whatever. Like I'm not waiting for somebody else to give that to me or assign that to me. I'm going to claim that thing and I'm going to move in that direction and allow people to see and to applaud me, which is what the Six of Wands indicates. So success and like falling in love and getting something you've always wanted, it can be a rollicking journey and can throw us for a loop. Spirit's funny and punny, but that's what they're saying. It can throw us for a loop, and ups and downs. Ups and downs. When something really good is happening for us, how many of you have had this experience? When something really good is happening and something that might even seem like unbelievably good, right? The fear comes in, the anxiety comes in, the self, sabotage and the kind of like self-defeating voices and worries and thoughts might start to jump in. Like, I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to put my hope in this. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket and da 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 da. No need to break your own heart, is what I'm hearing. Okay? For one thing, You don't need to hurry. You don't need to rush. You don't need to go fast. If you meet a lovely person, or you, again, like meet your crush in the hallway and get to have like a lovely conversation, and it, creates all these butterflies in your stomach, you want to take time to regulate yourself. Again, it's funny, but what I said earlier was when we get scared, we drop into a fight or flight kind of part of our brain, right? Adrenaline dumps into our body. We feel like we have to make a decision right now. Oh my God, we got to do this or else fill in the blank. Like our deepest fears are going to come true. Spirit's like, slow down. Get into your body. Say to yourself, okay, I'm clearly freaking out, right? Like I'm having all these worrisome thoughts. The wind is kicked up in my mind and I'm doing this. I'm spinning my wheels. I'm in the hamster wheel. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to get on the floor and stretch out my body. And I am talking about the body because that's what brings us back to a calm state, okay? You can slow your mind down a little bit by getting really present with your five senses. Okay, you know what? I'm really up in my head about this. I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to dance. That's a great way to get into your body and out of your head, right? And let that energy move through in a healthy way, where instead of like ricocheting around in your mind and trapping that energy and holding it out of fear of expressing it. Does that make sense? There's a way to express what you're fearful about or you're afraid of without it being talking. Okay? Okay. I feel like it's excellent things this week, and really it's the fear of losing such a good thing, or like, again, I don't want to get my hopes up. That's one of the feelings that I'm having. And I'm not telling you, no girl, get your hopes up. No boy, get your hopes up. I'm not telling you that. I am saying keep your heart open and keep your feet on the ground and take it slow. Again, you can talk to your crush and then you can take it nice and slow. Even though part of you wants to rush and your heart is thudding in your chest, you remind yourself, oh right, nobody makes the best decisions from a dysregulated place, even if it's a happy rabbit heart type of place. It's still not where we're making our best, most clear-hearted decisions, okay? Forget even the head. Most clear-hearted decisions need to come from a regulated place. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride is what Spirit is saying. You could white knuckle it and shut your eyes, or you could throw your hands in the air and be like, I'm on the ride. Let's go. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's go. Here we go. We're going down again. Like, try to enjoy the ride. You're alive. It's proof that you're alive. Okay, water signs. I hope that that is helpful. Beneficial adjustments to be made. Celebrations to be had for how far you've come. And don't accidentally be hard on yourself in an attempt to keep your stomach from dropping. Okay? Okay. Now let's talk to your cousin, the earth signs. Let's talk to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn people. Sun, moon, rising, and earth dominant people spirit. Those with a strong earth signature, what do you want to share with them this week? What is the overall energy and archetype you want them to be aware of? Gotcha. And now let's talk about money, work, projects, jobs, opportunities, spirit, funds. Got it, got it. And what about the mind? For Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. How is the mental weather? Okay. It's all on you, isn't it, earth signs? It's all on me. That's the feeling that I'm getting. It's all on me. It's all on me. It's all on me. We're going to need to disabuse you of that notion. And we're going to need to get some assistance from some other people if that is what's necessary. If there is too much on you. If you are your own bottleneck is something that I'm hearing. Okay? Okay, let me pick a couple more, then we'll talk. Spirit, tell me about the realm of feelings, relationships, the heart. Okay, good. Love to see that. And finally, what about their fire? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Dominant People Spirit. Tell me about the fire for the earth signs. Okay. So it's all on me. It's all on me. I have to do it all by myself. I have to hold on to everything with an iron grip. Oh my God. I'm up all night. I can't sleep. I can't relax. Where's a spare moment for me to actually relax or ebb a little bit? No, I'm thinking. I'm working. I'm holding. You know, talk about what Spirit said about white knuckling. That's the vibe that I get looking at this. So the Hermit is a great card, and I do get the feeling that you feel more isolated than necessarily like, I'm great and I know exactly what I'm doing, and etc. That can kind of come up with the Hermit. I feel like there's fear coming into how you handle all of your resources, like how you handle your money, how you count, Spirit's saying how you count your skills. Like you might be really limiting yourself and really freaking yourself out. You know, talk about analysis paralysis. The Nine of Swords is like taking the thinking and the fear mongering is something that I'm hearing all the way to the extreme. And something with earth sign people is they can be telling themselves, that's how I keep myself safe though. I have to keep myself safe by freaking myself out. That's the only way that I won't make a bad decision or whatever, is if I scare myself into making the right decisions. No, no. And actually, you have cards here for there are people around you very much available and very much desiring to offer you insight, support, right? To let you know that the bottom will not drop out from underneath you if you stop doing this thing that you don't want to do anymore. I'm feeling friendship, and I'm feeling like friends that feel like family. Three of Cups is also getting together with people who are different than you, right? Maybe you're an earth sign or earth dominant, and you've got a watery friend and an airy friend or a fiery friend. That if you brought them in and allowed them to kind of look with you, and I'm talking about people you trust, people that feel like family. Four of Wands is the family card. It's commitment, it's marriage, it's friends that feel like family, people that like we're together forever, we support each other through anything. There's loads of equality in this kind of partnership or group, right? These people support you and care about you, and they would tread very lightly. They would never, you know, walk into the realm of your mind with their muddy boots on, right? They will dust their feet off. They will wear kid gloves to look at what you are worrying about or working on or what you're afraid of. They will help you, okay? So please do not tell yourself it's all on me and I'm the only one that can figure it out. There are people who could give you a different perspective and who would say, "Hey, we're here to support you. You don't look at this. Look at how in this Four of Pentacles image, notice how their back is to the city. They are far away from where people could see and maybe even want to procure their wares, right? Maybe they want to engage this person who is clearly doing well, who clearly does have a lot of skills, but they are standing on them. They are holding them firmly in place. No, I got to do it just like this. I got to stay right here. And there's a city behind them, right? Look at here. Looky here at you, all up in and so much closer to all of these people, this group, this community, this city, right? So as much as you may trust your own guidance above all, as you should, right? Trust your own intuition, trust your own guidance, follow your own rules and your own guidance always, and sometimes bringing in some other people can open our eyes to things that we just weren't able to see because we don't possess their perspective, right? That's part of the beauty of sharing our thoughts and our ideas, is we're not just trapped in our head where they can never grow. Do you know what I mean? It's like being in an airtight room. Nothing grows in a dark, airtight room. We need oxygen, we need light, right? So bring a little light and oxygen. Bring some friendly, loving perspective. A group that you trust is something else that I'm hearing. So maybe for some of you, You have a group of friends or a group of people you play a game with or a knitting group or a book club or a whatever. That would be great to get together with them and even just a little bit begin to share where you're like a little bit constipated, where you're a little bit, I don't know about that. I'm going to have to hold that in. That's just what I'm hearing. Spirit is funny. Okay. Don't hold it in. It's only making it worse. Your perspective can truly only grow if you bring in those trusted people whose perspective is different than your own and therefore can make yours more holistic. Okay? Literally whole, spherical. Okay. I hope that that is helpful, Earth signs. You're doing better than you think you are, which is almost always true because you rake yourself over the coals to try to keep yourself at the top. And you know, here's the thing. I've seen a lot of very smart, capable Earth sign people make that work. I just don't think that they're having the most fun that they could have while they're doing it. And that's not how they self-report either. So I just feel bring in some assistant. Bring in a couple cheerleaders, okay? Okay. I hope it's helpful, Earth signs. You deserve. It's not all on your back. You're a co-creator. And actually, ironically, we can really limit and bottleneck ourselves if we're telling ourselves it's only me and only I can do it and it has to happen only this way. Actually, there's help available. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk to the air signs. Let's talk to Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius people who carry a strong Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air archetype in their chart, sun, moon, rising, or dominant. Spirit, what do you want to share with the air signs this week? What archetype or energy is most predominant? Okay. And let's talk about money, resources, skills, opportunities. Spirit, in the realm of work and finances. Wow. What do the air signs need to know? Beautiful. Okay. And what about their own element? The kinds of thoughts, words, the mental climate this week. Hey, okay. Interesting. What about feelings, relationships, emotions? For the air signs' highest good, Spirit, for their joy, peace, ease, alignment. Okay. And finally, what about their fire? What is lighting up, firing up Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius people? New horizons. New horizons. That is really what Spirit keeps repeating for me, air signs. New horizons, new horizons, new horizons. So let's talk about it. We had one, we had this in our weekly forecast, that beautiful Phoenix card. And that is really how I want you to think of this death card. Death is not literal. Death is a transformation. Again, think about the winter and the trees and how we think of that as like, oh my God, they're dead. No, there's the thaw and the buds and the fruit come forth in the spring always. So a death cycle can only lead to a life cycle. But something is definitely over. And I feel that for some of you, this is very internal. Let's bring this guy over here. It resonates really nicely with your emotional card, 8 of Cups. Leaving behind something that is no longer enough for you. Something for a while, a relationship, a habit, a dream is something that I'm hearing for some of you. Like this fantasy or this dream or this idea nourished me. It helped me grow. It helped me like go out and try new things and this, that, and the other thing. And now, like for any of us who've ever been there, there's nothing more heartbreaking than being in a relationship that you have adored, that you have been so happy, that you've explored so many things and you've grown so much as a person, and then you come to a realization that it doesn't fit you anymore, that the passion is no longer there, you know, the sense of maybe falling out of love, right? When you fall out of love with something or someone, it's a sign that it is no longer going to help you grow. That is something that Spirit has shared with me, is like the chemistry and attraction we feel even for people, that is because there's something in it for our soul, right? We think it's like, oh yeah, you're hot or you're funny or you're cute, blah, 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 whatever. And my soul is going to get something really precious out of this. So Spirit is like, chemistry and attraction are really nicely designed for that. And not just romantically, like the friends we are attracted to. There's always something nourishing in there, even if it's fucking hard. Even if it was the worst heartbreak of our life, but it taught us I need to stand on my own 2 feet, or I need to love myself, or I can never put all of my faith in a person and then allow myself to be shattered, right? Like I have to be whole. Okay? Sometimes the things we have to go through, they're in the name of our evolution. And that's what this is. So what are you falling out of love with? Yeah, fell out of love with my toxic ego, says Michael. That's a huge one. This isn't really me. This is actually keeping me fucking stuck. I'm been in a cage, right? This isn't enough for me anymore. I have to go find my fortune. Notice how they are leaving behind 8 finite, limited cups, limited amount of water can fit in these cups. And when they're stacked up like this, they will inevitably grow stagnant. So something hasn't been moving enough. It grew stagnant, and now it would be toxic to sip from those cups, these algae nasty cups. So I've got to go out and find my fortune. I've got to go out and find fresh water, even though it is the dead of night. I can't see where I'm going. I don't know what's out there. I have to go on faith. It's not a guarantee that if I leave this toxic relationship that I find the love of my life, right? It's a hope, it's a dream, but it's not a guarantee. So I have to go out even without guarantees. I have to say it's worth it to me for my faith or for my alignment or for my own sense of courage and following my soul. I have to do this, right? This is keeping me stuck. This is an old skin that I'm shedding. I've outgrown it and now it's tight and I'm shedding it. New horizons are available. 3 of Wands, the top of the cliff. My ships are coming in. I've got to go. I've got to go. If I don't go, I'm going to miss my boat. I'm going to miss my adventure. I'm going to miss my new perspective. So I've got to go. Go for it. Go. You will find a new place. Your ships will come in, whether they deliver something to you or they deliver you somewhere. Your ships will come in when you have the courage to leave your comfort zone and acknowledge that something is over for you, whether internal or external. Okay? New beginning. Ace of Swords. A new truth is revealed. A truth is spoken. So you may come to a realization and you may be the one to cut something off. And again, for a lot of you, I don't even feel that this is like I have to cut off a relationship. I feel that it's like an internal, again, you know, kind of what Michael said. I'm leaving behind my toxic ego. I'm leaving behind this idea of I have to be like this or else I'm not good enough or I'm unworthy or I'm not happy, whatever, right? Like actually I should probably get to try to be as happy with me as I am as possible. And that will literally help me grow and mature into new versions and better, bigger versions of myself, rather than let me rake myself over the coals and tell myself I'm not good enough and maybe then I'll improve. What? Doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. So tell the truth first to yourself and then to everybody else, right? Make it clear is something Spirit is saying with that Ace of Swords. And I do feel like it's kind of like, you know, the word decide comes from the Latin and it means to cut. When we make a decision, right, we cut off the one path because we've said yes to this, that means it's no to that, right? So Spirit's like, make it clear, decide, clean cut, clean break is something that I'm hearing. And some of you, that could be a break from a substance. That could be a break from like a habit. Like I've been drinking and this used to be fun. And now when I have a drink, this is something Spirit is saying. I can't think of what the name of it is, but there are times when people overdo a substance to a degree that they literally become like allergic to it. This can happen with cannabis, like this can happen with alcohol, where it's like, but this used to be my thing and now I get an anxiety attack or I break out in hives or whatever. Your body is letting you know this isn't for us anymore. This isn't working for me anymore, okay? So believe that if it happens, okay? Okay, you can trust yourself. You can make this shit happen. Yep. Yep. Oh, I feel you. And the body will tell us, the body will say, we are done with this shit. Even if you are not done with this shit, we are done with this shit. It's tough. It is tough. So, Nine of Pentacles, standing on your own 2 feet. You will be very proud of yourself. You will be very proud of yourself for walking away from something that was a comfort but was beginning to slow or even stop your growth, right? I know that I have further to go. I can believe that I have the skills to meet the moment, that even if I don't know exactly what to do at the time, that I can figure it out. And you can. So believe in yourself. Deal? Deal. Okay. I hope that that is helpful. It's a big one. And now finally, let's talk. Ooh, Michael. Yes, also same, Miss Phoenix. I'm seeing little bits and pieces of the conversation, and I am proud of you for leaving something that was no longer healthy for you, that was not giving you anything. We are not here for parasitic relationships. We are not doing that shit. It's symbiotic or it's nothing. It's synergy or it's get the fuck out of my face. Okay. Speaking of get the fuck out of my face, let's get into the fire signs. Let's go on to my fiery folks. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius people. Those who carry a strong fire signature in their chart, spirit, sun, moon, rising, or dominant fire. What do we need to know this week? What is the overarching theme that you want us to be aware of for our highest good? Geez, these cards are like flinging. Okay, Spirit. Spirit. Just need the one. We'll start with one. Need an archetype, overall energy, because clearly there's quite a bit happening. Okay, quite a bit happening. That's what I'm hearing, fire signs. Makes sense. Okay. Spirit is highlighting that the sun will be sextiling, which is an astrological angle, right? A friendly opening angle with all of the fire signs because the sun is in Libra and so Mercury's in Libra, etc. Will all be following each other. So things are opening up that were not possible before is something that I'm hearing right up front. Now, Spirit, for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, what do you want them to know about money? Jobs, opportunities, gorgeous. Reciprocity is huge this week. A huge theme. Give and you shall receive, right? And what you give, you shall receive in abundance. And that includes nothing, right? You give nothing, you receive nothing in abundance. So, and I'm hearing something else that Spirit has said to me before, which is give what you want the most. If you want love, give love, right? If you want to see kindness in the world, give kindness to something or to someone, and you will see it come back. But be a part of that beautiful machine, right? Be a part of the beautiful math that is God, that is love, that is universe, right? Play your part by being somebody else's guardian angel. That's what I'm hearing. So some of you might have the like financial or energetic or whatever wherewithal to like pay for somebody's groceries or whatever it is. I would say if you have the means and you have the desire, share your angelic nature because it will come back to you. Not because it will come back to you. I mean, ideally you're doing it because you want to do it, but it also will come back to you. That's what I hear. Oh, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What about the realm of emotions, feelings, love, relationships, friends? What's going on in the watery realm for the fire signs? Okay. And finally, what about their fire, their element, Spirit? How is the temperature for the fire signs? Okay. Reciprocity, really important. Holding back, holding in, hanging on, not the thing. Give it away. Spirit is for my Xers and my geriatric millennials. Spirit's like, give it away, give it away, give it away now, give it away. I can't control it. Okay, I didn't ask for this. This is my burden. Oh my God. Okay, beautiful card. The star. I forget that I have to put fucking post-it bikinis on these hoes, or else all of these platforms are just gonna set me on fire. So the star. Give of what and who you are. Share. Notice how this stream splits off into 5, right? The 5 senses. Use your 6th sense as well. Open up. Spirit is like showing me an antenna. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, I'm going to put on my antlers. You have to know that your crown chakra is like a funnel. And your dreams might be this tight. I want to make $1 million, right? Okay, great. Here's how much room there is for Spirit to give you a great idea about how to make $1 million. Now, if you say, I want to get filthy rich while simultaneously empowering everybody in the communities that I care about and making sure that they never have to fight for resources again, you notice how your funnel starts opening up, because now you're asking for the dreams, the good of so many more than just yourself. So, can you open up your mind? Can you open up your funnel? Can you dream a little bigger? Can you be a little audacious in what it is that, so the Spirit is saying it like this. Some of you, it's like, I want to write a book, right? Okay, so I want to write a book and I want to be a writer and I want to get paid to be a writer. Great dream. Excellent start. And what do you want your book to do? How do you want your book to make people feel? Or your channel, or your podcast, or your art? Fill in the blank. What do you want it to do? What effect do you want it to have? Really open up and be ostentatious, be audacious, be silly. I want to reawaken magic and compassion in order to save the whole planet. My fucking funnel is off the fucking charts. Okay? So Spirit be talking crazy to me all the time because I be talking crazy to Spirit. Okay? Be audacious. Open up your funnel. Okay. Give and you shall receive. 6 of Pentacles. In the energetic sense, in the financial sense, share your gifts so people can pay you. Share your gifts so people can say, that person is so generous. I just feel like offering them this, even if it's a kind word, right? Even if it's just verbal support. Ask. Give and you shall receive. Give and you shall receive. Look at her 2 pictures that she's pouring out of, right? Give and you shall, give and you shall receive. Caffeine. I shall receive. Pardon. Oh, that's better. Okay. And beautifully, continuing in this theme of flow, of giving and receiving. 6 of Swords, moving on from a hard time or a conflict, right? Taking essentially what you needed to learn from the conflict and moving forward, which is the best case scenario, right? If I have to go through something difficult, if I have to, be scarred by something, then the best thing that I can get from that is the learning, is the wisdom, right? So take the data, the wisdom, the learning, and sail forward knowing from now on, I'm going to have better boundaries, or from now on, I don't associate with people who blank, or whatever. What was your lesson? What did you learn, and what do you need to take forward with you? Make it a part of your compass. There are versions of this card where the swords form a compass rose hovering in front of the boat, helping it navigate, right? So what have you learned, and make it a part of your inner compass. I will never go against my own boundaries ever again. Going through this painful relationship with this person, I realized that I didn't honor and care about myself, and I let them walk past certain things, right? And so the best thing that I can take from that is I'll never make that mistake again. The minute that I express a boundary to somebody and they decide to go ahead and violate it anyway, I will take that for the message it is and be like, bye. I wish I could say it was nice knowing you. It was knowing you. Bye. Do you know what I'm saying? So that will make the rest of your life smoother, clearer, brighter, easier, which is the indicator of the card, right? Is when we learn from our mistakes. life can only get better and bigger. So if there was a mistake, if there was a fight, if there was a conflict, take the best out of it. And you need to know that you have learned a lot from everything that you've been through. Nine of Wands, you're a little beat up and tired, but you should see the other guy, right? All of the opponents, all of the fights, all of the difficulties, all of the uphill battles is something Spirit is saying that you have been through. You have taken a skill, a learning, a passion, a perspective, right? And Spirit is asking you to turn around and look at your wands and think about where you've come from, how far you've come, and how much further you can go. And you really can. And this is the important part. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. It can flow, okay? So I will say, don't give up. Nine of Wands, again, you might feel like it. You might feel like giving up, but if you really care about it, if this is your cause, if this lights you up, if this is your passion, then you don't need to give it up. Now, what you might need to give up is it coming through perfectly. It coming through only exactly the way that I want it to. Okay? So let's come back to this idea of like somebody who has a book, right? Okay, I can only, this book will only be a success to me if fill in the blank publisher publishes my book. If anybody else publishes it, or if I self-publish it or whatever, then it's not a success. No, it's supposed to look like this. That's the vibe of the Four of Cups, is I'm over it. See a little over it on her hoodie? This is how it's supposed to be. What the hell is this? This is bullshit. I'm supposed to have 3 gorgeous full cups, so where are they? And she's looking down so hard that she is missing that there is a new blessing being presented. A surprise is trickling in from somewhere. Someone is perhaps off screen pouring her something, right? New cup getting filled. Don't, this is a little dangerous to say to fire signs. Don't assume you know best. Spirit has a bigger imagination than you do. It could actually be way better than the little thing that you're like, I want to get published by this publishing house. Again, use that as a metaphor. I want to fill in the blank. It could be much bigger and better than you think it is. I want this person. Why isn't it this person? I want this person to be into me or to be my soulmate or whatever. You might be looking through a pinhole. You might not know what else is out there for you. So Spirit is like, open up your heart, share yourself innocently. The star is naked for the reason that she is innocent. She is shameless. She is sharing of herself, and she receives blessings and guidance in return. So be brave. Share who you are. Don't assume you know best, and let Spirit surprise you. Okay? You give of yourself without saying, this is exactly what needs to happen in return, okay? Yeah, I'm going to share my creativity, but only if I get published by this place. Share your creativity and be like, here we go. I'm so excited to see what happens. Who knows what could happen? I'm going to share my creativity. Okay? Okay. I hope that that is helpful, fire signs. And I hope that that is helpful for all of you. It is always a joy to be here and read for y'all live. Thank you for being here. Sign up for the Cosmic Spotlight if you want your chart read. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. The first one was a ton of fun. I'm really excited to look at the haunted houses and the malefic planets and the scary things. That's going to be great. Yes, exactly, Miss Phoenix. Yep. Have a goal and then have faith. Have faith and go with it. All right. Sending y'all love. Take care. I'll be back next week. Also, next week is my birthday, October 16th. So if you feel it, send me a little message, whatever, a little birthday thing. I would love to hear from y'all. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will see you when I am 40 wonderful. Bye, y'all.